Hey everybody, I'm Tom Vasel and welcome to the Dice Tower. We are going through and looking at the worst of the worst of the worst of the worst games. We're now down to the very bottom of the list with the exception of tomorrow where I take a look at the top worst 119 games, something like that. We rounded numbers when making the intros to these videos. We're looking at 200 games right now, starting at 19,601 and below. I've not played all these games. Some of them I don't know anything about. We'll find that out when we look at them. Like I said, as we get farther down the list, I'm tending to look at more and more of these games. But first of all, before we go any farther, I want to do a nice shout out here to some of our Kickstarter backers. We want to say thank you to William McGinnis, who wants us to thank all the real heroes of the COVID-19 crisis, Michelle Dede, Hubert Cadbury, and Joseph Nahas. Also, Alex and Marion from Montreal. So that's fantastic. Thank you all for backing the Kickstarter. We really do appreciate it. I appreciate each one of you who is here right now. The few of you who are taking time away from your jobs probably here to go with me as I go to Board Game Geek and look at the worst of the worst games. But maybe they're not all bad. Maybe there's some good ones in here. Are you ready? Whew. Here we go. By the way, as we're going through these, if you see something in there and you want to comment on it, I mean, the chat is going crazy. Have fun talking, everybody, and see what's going on. So here we go. We're going to start with Baker Speed, the Ladybug Game, Pack of Flies, The Prince, The Struggle of House Borgia, and Secret Labyrinth. I've only played 2 of these games, but let's find out what they are. Let's move that over there. All right. Baker Speed is a kind of an investigation style game. It's not really. You're rolling dice and then trying to find somebody with those characteristics, like 2 fat people wearing blue. Well, the fat guy wearing blue or whatever. It's not a very good game, unfortunately. The Ladybug Game, I don't know anything about. It's a little kid's game, so it probably just... it's probably not that good of a game, but it's for little kids. Pack of Flies. So the main reason I got this game was so I could get all these flies. Now I get it. You can buy these little plastic flies probably on the internet and everything, but I don't know. I found this to be amusing that you use these pack of flies. And the game is something about cows. It's been a long time since I played the game. I still have the flies. I've used them in other games. I think I used them like in Cthulhu as for corruption tokens for a while. And there's different cards, and you're grabbing them that do things, and there's things that flies would land on. It's not a good game, but hey, plastic flies. Someone said they hate stickering dice. I agree, but this was 17 years ago. The Prince, The Struggle of House Borgia. This is from Alexander Berg. Not Richard Berg, actually, from Mayfair Games. This one got a lot of yelling about it. I don't remember much. I remember when this came out, there was a lot of negativity about this game. I'm not sure why I did not play it. I was kind of chased away by the comments. If you look at the rating breakdown, look at that. 2 people gave it a 10, but mostly people did not prefer it. There's wheeling and dealing, broken, random game, rules aren't clear. Yep, that sort of thing happened even years ago. Secret Labyrinth. This is a kind of a kid's game, you know, moving around in the Secret Labyrinth. This one still is sold in stores. I see it often. So, again, I think there tends to be negative reaction towards kids' games on Board Game Geek. All right, then we have Creatures and Cultists, Midlife Crisis, Halloween Party, and Jim Henson's Labyrinth, the board game, which came out in 2016. And there's a moose in the house, which doesn't rhyme. You think it would be like there's a mouse in the house. Anyway, Creatures and Cultists, that artwork is very obviously John Kovalick's artwork. This is a take-that style game as far as I can tell. Meh. Midlife Crisis. So, there you go. Without cracking up, breaking up, or going broke. And it's one of those old roll and write style games. Here you go through the board and everything. It's not an interesting game. Like, oh, you're going through your midlife crisis, which apparently starts at 30. And there's Divorce Gulch, Bankrupt City, Crack Up Ranch. Who thought? I remember as a kid, I picked this game up and I was like, ooh, interesting. My mom was like, that's garbage. It's like, looks fun. There's a guy cracking a giant egg. Little did I know. Halloween Party is another game by Christopher Bollinger, the designer of Dungeon Twister and Archipelago. I didn't hate this game. It is basically you're knocking on people's doors and you have to get them to open the door or not, and you're a monster or asking for trick-or-treats. It was in the Blue Games line. So you see this blue box? There's a bunch of these beautiful blue box series. City, there was The Castle. The Castle was probably my favorite of the group. Democracy was really good. There's a lot of them. This is probably the lowest rated of all the ones on the list. Jim Henson's Labyrinth. This came from River Horse Limited. And when I first saw the box and the pieces, it looked like mass market trash. I mean, most of the pictures here are showing you how to paint the pieces. That board doesn't look good at all. Also, is it okay if I say that I thought the movie was overrated? Nah, I'm just kidding. I'm not kidding, but I mean, don't hate me on that. But the game itself didn't look very interesting. There's a Moose in the House. This is a game right style game. I feel like I thought I played this game. Maybe I didn't. You're just matching cards. All right. Doggy Do, Word Yahtzee, Topple, Tetris the card game. We'll skip Monopoly, Disney, and Halo interactive strategy game. Law and Order game. Boom, boom. Vampire Hunter. We'll do that one next. All right. Here we go. Doggy Do. I don't know much about. All right. Is there Play-Doh in this game? Are you like, oh. If that's the case, why is it yellow? Come on now. Get this out of my face. Word Yahtzee, 1978. You're trying to make words. You have 3 rolls and you have 7 dice. You need to make letters. And so at the top of the pad, let's take a little pad. Oh, that's in a different language. Let's find an English language one. I'm really surprised sometimes that when you go to these games, just how many of the pictures are from other languages, which is great. But sometimes those are the only pictures, which I think is odd. I'm trying to see if I can find a picture of the scorecard. Oh, there we go. It's so small, I can't read it. Certain number of letters or more, all consonants, all vowels. Sample game. Well, either way, it didn't get a lot of love. Topple. All right, I'm sure a lot of people have seen this game for sure. It's a dexterity game. I don't actually particularly like this one. I feel like it's a little too swingy. Those pieces are nice, the little flying saucers or whatever they are. They stack, and I like the colors. This is a different version there. This is the version I played, this one. And it's fine. It's like a Jenga-style game. I thought it was merely okay. Tetris the card game. I'm just assuming this is bad. 2011. You keep a grid of 10 cards face up in front of you. Flip them as lines are cleared to keep track of your score. Let's take a look at the cards. Those are pretty cool cards. Well, that's interesting. Like, you have a card and then a piece that fits in that card? Either way, people are saying this one's bad. Vampire Hunter. I've seen this game before, 2002, mostly because the box is red and blue. I have not forgotten that. And the board has it's something to do with lights. It must not work very well. The light tower shifts from red to blue. Yeah. Probably really cool if you're a teenager. Alrighty. Is Craps like on Board Game Geek database? I didn't realize that. Dragon Riders Name 5, which I played. Chishaku Channel Surfing. I think I played that actually. Evil Baby Orphanage has a lot of reviews. Zaxxon. Oh, Superpower. No, that's not the one I played. This game is called Boxes. I'm very curious about that one, actually. and Story War. Okay, so here we go. Craps. Just casino craps. Huh. Does this belong in Board Game Geek? It's a public domain game, but don't you need... I mean, do all casino games go in Board Game Geek then? That's interesting. Dragon Riders. That's a pretty game. This came out 2005. I don't believe I played this game. Oh, it's a racing game. Well, there's Jay Tummelson playing the game. Did Rio Grande pick it up eventually? Yeah, they did. Well, that would explain why he was playing it then. I never heard much about this one. Didn't really get a big buzz, that's for sure. Name 5. This is just name 5 things. So we played 5 seconds earlier, but that's a terrible board. It's just a party game. Name 5 of whatever. Jishaku, the game of magnetic action. So you're just putting magnets and then hoping they don't snap together, or do you want them to snap together? And why is the game so low rated? Let's see why people don't like a magnet game. The magnets are strong, but there's nothing else. There's cool, strong magnets, and there's no game. No sleeves needed? You sleevers have a problem. All right, channel surfing. Yeah, this was, I remember when this came out, the big thing was, hey, surf through channels and find stuff. I actually don't think this is a terrible idea, right? To surf through and look for things. Nowadays, we don't channel surf anymore, so this is kind of a dead thing. But I always thought the concept of this wasn't bad. I just surf through channels and play a game looking for things. Evil Baby Orphanage. So this was made by Weird Miniatures. Someone here in the comments said it was made by some popular YouTubers. I don't know much about that. I think they made some nice miniatures of these. Lizzie Borden with an axe gave her father 40 whacks. That's all I remember. I do remember seeing this game, though. I remember now. When I was at Origins that one year, they told me you had to print it out yourself. It wasn't out yet. Or something to that effect. Huh. Well, I've not played it. Zaxxon. This is from the Galaxies in Peril, the evil robot Zaxxon. Man, this game might be bad. But man, this gives me that, oh, when I was a kid, I want to play this game so badly, Zaxxon. Oh, that looks so awesome. Will you volunteer for this dangerous mission? I will. Those are cool pieces for a kid in the 80s. All right, superpower. Oh, this is not about superheroes. This is about controlling the third world. That's not... Okay. Meh. Hard pass. All right, boxes. So this is... Boxes is invented in 1889. It's a plus-size version of a game we call Dots and Dashes. So I guess my question here is, this published game here, though, was it published like this in 1889? Obviously not with plastics, but was there like a wooden version made or something? It just seems interesting to me. I mean, this is, in my opinion, I mean, my kids are always asking to play this, and it's a flawed game because you just simply make, you're cutting the board up into sections, and eventually somebody starts just getting a ton of points. That doesn't stop me from playing this like 30 times. I never played with a plastic version, I don't think. Story Wars. So, a very popular board game designer came to me and said, this game is amazing. You need to play it at a convention. So I was like, all right, kind of a cool cover. I got it. And it's about stories, making stories up. And there's a ton of these stories up. Think Super Fight, where you make things. There's just not enough of it. There's like a deck, and it's not that interesting. It's just like, hey, can the vampire beat the dwarf, beat the gremlin, beat the minotaur, beat the red dragon? I don't know. Those kind of games to me are fun once. All right, what do we got here? Wizardology, the game. Jack Straws from 1888. Game of the States? Oh, I love Game of the States when I was a kid. Not now. Zombie Run for Your Lives. Magicus. Shark Attack. Surprise Slides games. Oh, here's the lowest Lego one so far. RoboChamp. That might be the winner. We'll see. And Game of Thrones Westeros Intrigue. All right. Wizardology, the game. That can't be what the game looks like. Really? It does come with that stuff? You know what this game looks like? It looks like the people who made it believe that wizards are real. What is it about? Players travel the board. It comes with 6 scolded. Blah, 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 blah. Wow, that doesn't look very good at all. 2007. All right, Jack Straws. Isn't Jack Straws essentially pickup sticks? No, it's pickup sticks with just different tools. A hockey stick, a saw, a crutch. Well, this is a weird one. This is one I've not ever seen. So some of them are 10 points, 5 points, and 2 points. I love his cover. He looks like he's emerging from the dressing room like, ta-da! That's a hilarious cover. Doesn't look quality, but that's I don't know. Okay. Game of the States. Yeah, I really remember this one. This was an educational game where you learn the name of the states and you would travel around in a car doing something or other. It's very educational. There's not a lot of strategy to it. You're just moving around from state to state. But hey, if you want to learn geography, I guess you could do worse. Not much worse, though, since there's only so many games down the list. Marianne says, you know you want the tiny stick things for other games. How did you read my mind? You're right. I was thinking about how I could get those other games. Zombies Run From Your Lives. I gave this one a 5. This is from Right Games. Oh, yeah. So Right Games, the folks who made Evolution. This one just isn't very good. You just needed the right, Right Games. But you needed the right cards to fight off the zombies at any given point. Meh. Magicus, here we go, the lowest ranked Lego game so far. Notice how many Magic games are down here in the very bottom. That's the whole game? Come on now. Some of these, like, why did this even have to be Legos? That's the problem I'm having. The highest ranked Lego game where you made the little 3D Heroescape type board, okay, that's interesting. At this point, why is this even Lego? Nick says, Tom, why do you keep showcasing games from my shelves? I was new to the hobby. It was a mistake. Oh, I'm not the one who ranked these all low. Well, yeah, actually, I ranked a lot of them low. Shark Attack. Wow, that's a very, very basic game. The shark just moves. Ooh, that's a much cooler. Come on now. Do you want this piece of garbage or this amazing looking one? That's much cooler. Surprise Slides. Is this another Chutes and Ladders style game? Looks more like Candyland mixed with Chutes and Ladders and Disney. Oh, never mind. Here's another. Man, we just keep getting lower and lower. Man, I'll tell you what. I remember I guess we got to call it out, right? Lego might know what they're doing about toys, but they don't know jack about games because their games are consistently ranked low. Here you get to make little weird robot creatures that aren't even that good. Come on, Lego. This doesn't even look good for Lego standards. Boo. They did get out of the board game business, so it doesn't matter. Game of Thrones, Westeros Intrigue. This re-implements Penguin Penguin Party. Oh, I hate Penguin Penguin Party. Well, that would explain it. A row, and you're just putting stuff on top of each other. You just got to match one of the colors below. And it's bad art. Various people. But look, as they build these up there, They're going to get to the final level, the very top level of this pyramid, and they're going to bungle it. And once they do, no one's going to care about the beginnings of this building. Alrighty. Let's see. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Pizza Power game. We got to take a look at that. Alpha Ross, that's a 1925 game. The X-Men trading card game. Poop the game. Oh, Break Key. Oh, we got to talk about Break Key. This is great. I am surprised. We will not talk about Pimp the Backhanding. But Break Key. Yeah. Ninja Galaxy. Wow. That's pretty low for Ninja Galaxy. Connect 4 Revised Edition. How's it different than Connect 4? Someone said the GoBots of Lego. That's what they did look like GoBots. Rivers, roads, and rails. All right, let's take a look at Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Heroes in a Half Shell. Well, that's very mass markety. This one I've not heard of. Alpha Ross. So I'm sure some people watching this is probably a very popular, common game in another country. So maybe someone can tell me what country this is from. I don't hate how these cards look. Those numbers with the animals on look cool. But I'm assuming this is a mass market game from a different country. Is there other names? 11 starts. 11. Start 11. Must be something about 11s then. It does show an 11 there. XMen trading card game. Blood Feud. Draw a card. I never played this one. I was too busy playing Overpower. I don't hate the artwork on these, so that's kind of cool. The graphic design isn't good, but I don't think the art's too terrible. It's not consistent, though. Poop the game. It's an Uno-like game where the first person to run out of cards wins. It's German, by the way. Someone says 11 out is the translation. Okay. Oh, come on. Break Key. Okay, so for those of you who do not remember anything about Break Key or weren't there. So Break Key, and I'm not kidding, this is how the game works. You buy a key, you stick the key with someone else, you turn them, one of the keys breaks. Think like breaking a wishbone. Whoever's key doesn't break wins. That's the game. And I mean, they tried to make it a big thing, but it's literally a disposable game. This was the first legacy game. Not really. I do not know what people saw in this. When I heard the idea, it sounded stupid. They tried to make a big deal about it. There was flashiness. I remember they brought a bus to one convention and making a big deal about it. And for those, I noticed a few people in here said I like it. I don't get it. You're literally, it's like you're breaking half the game every time. That's insane. I don't understand what you're paying to waste money. Just roll 2 dice and the higher die wins, but at least you both get to keep your die then. So weird. But it was a big deal. But as you can see, ranked quite lowly. Ninja Galaxy, this is from Stein Thompson Games. I don't believe Stein Thompson Games has made anything for a while. They made Soccer Tactics Worlds, which got a higher review, and Ninja Galaxy. This is another company, I guess since I'm telling tales here, there's another company that does not tolerate even remotely negative reviews of their games. Yeah, it's not that great of a game. Spoken like someone who got their keys broken? No, this is one game. You don't notice I don't have a rating there because I didn't play it, because I think it's one of the dumbest ideas ever. I should just rate it anyway. I don't need to play it to say how dumb it is. Imagine having the legendary key that survived 1,000 battles, though. I suppose? So weird. Connect 4. Revised edition. What is the difference here? Get 4 in a row by popping a checker out. I don't get it. Like you can take one of your checkers out, let things fall, maybe? Oh, I guess you can do that. That seems like it'd be too easy to get. If you could pull a checker out and make things fall, it'd be too easy to get 4 in a row, right? The game would end really quickly, I think. River, Roads, and Rails. It's similar to Dominoes. Came out in 1969. Oh, that's amusing to see the different colors. Well, that's not. I like that. So it's basically like a pipeline game, except there's different pictures there. I could see this being somewhat amusing. All right, here we go. The Sneaky Snacky Squirrel game, Dungeonville, Bed Bugs, Jumbo Jet, Gone Fishing, and All Wound Up. Phase 10 dice. Oh, my word. Kill me now. All right. The Sneaky Snacky Squirrel game. This is just a kid's game. Those are cute acorns, though. Those would probably fit in another game. Dungeonville. So this one I gave a 6 to. Man, it's been a long time since I played this one. A dungeoneering game using from Z-Man Games, hilarious game of dungeon delving. I don't even remember it now. I would probably not have as high of opinion today. Bed Bugs. Come on now. Who here played Bed Bugs as a kid? So if you never played this game, it has this bed and there's a bunch of bugs on it, and you start it up and they rattle all over like crazy. You then take these little tongs and you are grabbing your color. It's amusing. It works for kids. I don't like it now. It's also very one note, but we had a lot of fun playing it as kids. Is this game still sold? Like, I don't know if I've seen this. Maybe like it promotes uncleanliness or something. I don't know. I don't know that I've seen this in years, like sold new. This seems like a game that Hasbro would still put out now. Maybe they do and I just miss it. Jumbo Jet from 1975. Wow, that's one of the worst boards I've ever seen. Meh. Gone Fishing from 1890. You put magnets and then you try to fish there and get stuff. Oh, okay, so it's basically luck. You just stick things in. Huh. This has kind of a, this is a very antique look to it. I could see this being an entertaining game for kids to play. It's really simple. You just, That's kind of the game I'd like to see in a museum. All Wound Up. Now, this is a game actually I'm a little disappointed about, I think, to some degree, because I fully expected this game to be kind of fun. It used wind-up toys. I thought that was interesting. Todd was explaining the game to me, Todd Breitenstein, and then Todd passed away before I saw him at the next convention. His wife created it, but the idea of moving around with wind-up toys I thought sounded really cool. Obviously, not so, since it's ranked so low. That's disappointing, though. The idea of using these wind-up toys for a game seems pretty neat. Bedbug, says Marianne, is still produced by Hasbro, still for sale on Amazon. There you go. Phase 10 dice. It's garbage. I don't have to look at it. I don't know why we did. Okay, let's keep moving. IQ 2000, Headache, Bibleopoly, which I've given a 1 to, Pie Face, which I gave an 8 to. This is my highest game in the bottom. I'm sure of it. Fox and Geese. Yahtzee Jr., I gave that a very low rating. Oh, I remember why. Evil Genius Death Ray. Snail's Pace Race. We're not going to click on Boost and Memo, but this is a very misogynistic game. It's a memory match game. And Rocketville. Wow, Rocketville is low. All right, here we go. IQ 2000, a children's trivia game where you move through the solar system from Earth to the fictional planet Quasar. Why would you want to go to a planet called Quasar? That's like going to a planet called, Testing or Boring Jack. I don't. My joke there ran out pretty badly, but plug. Headache. I've played Headache. I'm pretty sure of it. Let me take a look at this. Yeah, Headache has a pop-o-matic in it. You move around, you stack, then you can capture things, and you have to move them. Yeah, I played Headache. Ah, that brings back really good memories. I'll give it a 4. Because it's a garbage game, but I do remember the pop-o-matic part. This is like a variation on Trouble. Bibleopoly is the worst. I mean, again, Monopoly's not, it's not like Monopoly's a great game anyway. But if you're going to take Monopoly and copy it over with a Christian theme, when every version of Monopoly is better than the Bible one, you got a problem. This is trash, and the people who made it should be ashamed of themselves. A pox upon you. Pie Face. I don't know why Pie Face, I mean, okay, so people can say as a game, Pie Face is really stupid. You're literally clicking the thing and it will hit you in the face with a pie. That's it. And yet, I've taken this game all over the place. It goes to youth groups. We played it as a family together. I think we've done it live here on the Dice Tower even. It's so stupid, and yet it's worked so well for stupidity to fun ratio, which is an actual scientific thing that I've just made up. The stupidity to fun ratio. This one is off the charts. So I don't see why it's so negative. It's definitely better than Bibleopoly. All right, Fox and Geese. Now, this is a very, very old-style game, and it's, correct me if I'm wrong, this may be the first asymmetrical game that's ever was made. I've not played it, but I know about it, where one person controls a fox and another person controls a bunch of geese. I like that concept, but I've never played the game. Yahtzee Jr. It's Yahtzee, but it's complete luck trash. Evil Genius Death Ray. Did I not? Oh, this is from Vile Genius Games. That's why. Yeah, I actually did play this game. No, I didn't play it. I'm sorry. I watched it being played. They tried to. When they were telling me about it, I was like, "Are you sure this game looks pretty bad?" But again, the name of the company is Vile Genius Games. It's kind of the type of games they make. Yeah, I'm just not really interested in this one at all. I believe it was on the Hot Games at BGG at one convention one year, but it's not that good. Snail Pace Race. I feel like I played this before too with my kids. Looks pretty interesting. Just roll dice and see who wins the race for kids. Rocketville. So this is from Richard Garfield, the maker of Magic the Gathering. This just goes to show you that not everyone has a touch of gold and everything. Magic the Gathering, Kingdom Bunny, or Bunny Kingdom, sorry. King of Tokyo, Robo Rally, and Rocketville, which I've never played because this is one of those times where people scared me off. It was ranked that low, unfortunately. Looked kind of cool, looked interesting, but nope. All right, let's see here. Gother Than Thou. Dreidel's on here. We won't look at it, but that's interesting that the Dreidel's marked in here as a game. Happy Families. Time Control. Oh, Time Control. We'll talk about that in a second. Electric Football. Ooh. Outrage, Steal the Crown Jewels. Trap the Cap. Star Trek the Game. I didn't give that one a very good thing either. And Greed Quest and Trick or Treat. Hey, folks, we're halfway through today's. Let's keep going. Gother Than Thou. That person's gother than me. Everyone's gother than mine. You get cards that subtract goth points. And what? What is this nonsense? Who made this game? So stupid. Happy Families from 1851. So you're collecting families. There's an asterisk version. There's a Planes 2 version. Oh, it's so weird. Time Control. All right, folks. Let's give Anthony Thompson some credit here, because Time Control has some good things behind it. It was the first board game review copy ever sent to the Dice Tower. I remember this one, 2003. Now, Anthony Thompson has designed, actually, that's the only game he's designed. Also, Bike Route Sacramento, so no. Maybe it was Rob Arnaud. Nope, only game he designed. Thompson Industries. Yep, only game they published. Well, anyway, the guys who made this went and started another company that made some games that were not as terrible. Time Control's terrible. It really is. I was like, oh, we got a free game. I can't wait to review it. Let's see what it's like. And we played it, and I was like, oh, it's not so good, because it really isn't. I really wanted to like it. I've always wanted to play a game about time, and this is one of the first review games I've ever did about time travel, and I found it didn't work, and I said, well, someday there will be an amazing game about time travel. And we're still waiting for that. There's some decent games about time travel. There's a game that's pseudo about time travel, like Anachrony, but it's really just about borrowing. Like you're borrowing from yourself in the future, which is called, that's what that is. But anyway, and in this game, you could just play simultaneous. You could put a token out anywhere. But if two people put the same token in the spot, you move to the same spot, then you would have a war and you both reveal numbers. And every time you did anything, there was a war, and you kept doing it and doing it and doing it and doing it. I'm really sad this game isn't good. But then again, if they hadn't sent me a game, maybe I would have never reviewed. That's probably not true, but let's pretend it for their sake. This game, unfortunately, I think should be higher. Come on, All-Star Football. This game is cool. It's terrible, but it's cool. So if you've never seen this, you put these guys on the board, and then the whole board just vibrates, and then you see the football guys run around the board, and they run football plays. Very terrible football plays. This was just reprinted, actually, a few years ago at Gen Con. They had a booth there. I thought it was really neat that they were reprinting it. I almost bought it, but it was super expensive. I don't know. This game has such nostalgia. I mean, I can't say bad things about it. Wow, I don't even have a rating on it. I'll give it a 5. No, I'll give it a 6. It's not 5. It's 6. It was not terrible. Outrage, Steal the Crown Jewels. It's from Imperial Games. Oh, I saw this game. Didn't I see this game at the Tower of London being sold there? I think I did. Well, maybe not. It does seem weird that they would have a game about stealing the crown jewels at the Tower of London. All right, Trap the Cap, Cap the Dunce, Catch the Hats, Cop It, Double Discoveries. There are 37 different names for this. Well, let's see what those names are. Look at those names. Come on, Cop It and Cap It, Double Discoveries. Truther and Drubert, which is the name of another game. Hat Over Hat. Wow, this game's been printed a lot. Trap the Cap. Whatever. Star Trek the Game. Wah, 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 wah. Man, that looks cool. Again, this is the kind of game that... Can you imagine games doing this today? Look at that. That's fascinating to me. This is game 4,198 of 200,000 games. That's not a collector's edition in our modern gaming time. That's really cool. That's... wow. Oh, I gave this a 3. Because I have played this game. Oh, yeah, I did play this game. Yeah, it's just... It's so... What did I do with my copy? I must have got rid of this a long time ago. Greed Quest from Steve Jackson Games, which looks like Phil Foglio artwork. Definitely. Go wild. Greed is good. What is this based on? Looks like it's based on something. No, you're just racing to get stuff. Well, it doesn't have good ratings. Trick or Treat. There are many different Trick or Treat games. I've not seen this particular one from Goldseaver. Looks like you're rolling dice, but some of them have frowny faces, some have happy faces, and some are black, and some are have a glare on them from the light. Oh, wow, that's you gotta, oh, they have different eyes too? Whew, not a good one for people who have a hard time seeing stuff. Alrighty, folks, here we go. Second half, same as the first, a whole lot longer and a whole lot worse. Roller Coaster Hippo. Big Bang Theory, Fact or Fiction. Toss Across. I got to rate that one. I didn't know that was here. Dogfight, Lucky Ducks I played. Poker Dice. All right, we'll take a look at Poker Dice. I'm going to talk about those. Devil Bunny Hates the Earth. Remember Devil Bunny Wants a Ham? Here's the sequel. Or this might be the first one. I don't know. Charades from 1550. Beat the Parents. Wench, another misogynistic style game. Anazazi? I'm not sure how to pronounce that. All right, here we go. Roller Coaster Hippo. What on earth? Well, that looks fun. Definitely a kid's style game. Toss Across. Well, this is fantastic. I didn't know this game was here. I'm going to give this one a 7. This is a fun game because this is a game of skill. So it's tic-tac-toe. But, well, I'm sorry, I'm not going to look at the Mighty Morphin Power Ranger version. So it's tic-tac-toe, but you can do it from a decent distance away. So there's skill. You're aiming for the middle, obviously, and stuff. I like this concept. We played this a lot when I was a kid. So I didn't even know this was on Board Game Geek. I guess technically it's a game. It's tic-tac-toe. This is more of a lawn game. And there's some debate whether lawn games belong on Board Game Geek or not. But also, I don't care. So, yeah, this was pretty neat. Lucky Ducks. This is for very, very little children. And this one's rated low because this one, the ducks go around, you pick one up and look at it. It's like those carnival games, except here you don't have to carry around the stuffed animal the rest of the day. Poker Dice. Do you know that poker dice are awesome? I know poker dice are awesome because the people who made these poker dice told me this every time I walk by their booth. One year at a convention. Now, there are some cool poker dice used in other games. Yeah. All right. Devil Bunny Hates the Earth. Second in the seemingly chose random words for a plot Devil Bunny series. You're in Devil Bunny's taffy factory, and you are trying to foil Devil Bunny's plot. This just looks terrible. Come on. That one I did not play. Charades. Well, there's not a lot to say here. Charades is... I like this. 1,000 Trade. Stops stage fright. How? That's like saying jumping out of an airplane cures fear of heights. You know, Spider Farm. Cures arachnophobia. No. Just because you play charades doesn't mean you suddenly don't have stage fright anymore. Anyway, that cracks me up. But yeah, charades, one of the most shown games that people apparently play on TV shows. If there's a sitcom and there's a bunch of friends, invariably at some point, they will play Pictionary or charades together. Charades has been usurped by so many other games. Gestures, I mean. Oh, yeah, by the way, it wasn't Cornhole. Cornhole's a different game. That's tic-tac-toe with beanbags. It's Cornhole and tic-tac-toe. I think it's really fun. I don't know why people hate on it. Beat the Parents. Test your knowledge of the opposite generation. Ho, ho, ho. Let's take a look at these cards. Questions asked the kids. True or false? Pineapples grow on trees. You've ate cookies, you eat 3. How many are left? 5. Elvis Presley sang about suede shoes. What color were they? Blue. How many kids are listening to Elvis Presley? Adults. Who is the head ant in a bug's life? What doors... What? I can't read upside down, apparently. Well, anyway, who cares? This is stupid. This is one of those ones where they ask kids easy question. Here we go. What ex-pop star narrated Thomas the Tank Engine? Ringo Starr. But how would the kids know? Who's the professor in Captain Underpants? Professor Poopy Pants. Who played the younger number 2 in Goldmember? Rob Lowe. This is stupid. This game deserves a low rating. I'd give it a low rating right now, except I haven't played it. This is from Mayfair Games and Phalanx Games. I gave it a 5 because I remember it just was fairly boring. You're connecting these different islands together. Really, really, really bad components. All right, let's continue on. There's Kanji Battle. I don't know this one. Young Jedi collectible card game. Men are from Mars, women are from Venus. Another game that irritates everyone. Dose. I gave it a 2 instead of a 1. Tribond. Killer Bunnies in the Quest for the Magic Carrot, which I gave a 6.52. Spellfire. Hey, here's Pug U. Cool. I'm so glad to see it's at 19,722. It should be lower than that. Oh, and yet another Lego game, the Ramses Pyramid one. Oh, they get worse and worse and worse. Oh, there's the Game of Authors. I do want to see that one because it's from 1861. All right, here we go. Kanji Battles. You're a Japanese mage, and you have spells and stuff. That's so boring looking. Young Jedi collectible card game. Did we already look at this? I don't know how this is any different than the last one. They all look the same. Dose. I played Dose. It's worse than Uno, I think. At least Uno's simple. Dose tries to make it slightly complicated, just so they can have a game called Dose. If they come out with Trace, run. Speaking of 3, Tribond. So this is where you're trying to find the common denominator between 3 things. The game itself is no good. The common denominator between 3 things, that's not a terrible idea. King, Queen, and Twin. What's the common thing between all of them? Oh, bed sizes. I looked at the answer, sorry. Robin, Tonto, Boo Boo, sidekicks. A car, a tree, an elephant. They have trunks. Core, mantle, crust. That's parts of the earth. Pantyhose, engines, candidates. Things that get politicians in trouble. No, they all run. Okay, whatever. All right. Killer Bunnies in the Quest for the Magic Carrot. So this is a game that's sold tremendously well. This company does not care if you hate this game at all. It's one of my guilty pleasures. 6.5 is not that bad. It's a silly game, and this is one of those games that I have no justification for liking it. You can yell at me and say, Tom, you're a moron for liking this, and I agree. It's silly, it's nonsensical. You are trying to take control of bunnies in this game, and then eventually, at the end of the game, you're getting carrots. At the end of the game, you draw from a small deck of carrots, and if you're the person with that carrot, you won. Which means if you have 1 carrot and I have 20, I have a 20 out of 21 chances to win the game at the end, but you still could win. And some people hate that. It also is dorky humor. Take that. There's so much garbage in this game. I don't know why I think it's fine. I actually don't think it's fine. I just like it. Just give me 1. All right? I'll be back on train in just a second. Spellfire, Master the Magic. Is this an old CCG? It is a CCG from TSR, where they use amazing artwork. Well, that's not bad. Isn't that what's her name from Dragonlance? I get all these different things confused. That is definitely old D&D artwork, though. All right. Pug U is just trash, which you wouldn't think. If you walked in a store, now, obviously, the Pug U is going to give you some indication, but the cover, you might not think so, because it's There's cute pugs in the cards. They actually look better than this. These are drawn ones. Where's the actual ones? There they are. They're cute pugs. But it's bad. Any game that references suicide in a funny way I find abhorrent. And there's worse than that. It's just a trashy, terrible game you can watch in my review. All right, here's the worst Lego game so far. I gave it a 6, but it was a while ago. So maybe I was enamored by the Legos in it. This one, there's enough Legos to build something cool with it if you don't like the game. Yeah, these games aren't great, though. The Game of Authors. Oh, this is one of the earliest versions of Go Fish. Those aren't authors. Neither are the Aristochats. Neither is Donald. Those aren't authors either. What is going on here? What is this game actually called then in these other variations? And why are you showing me? Is this just Go Fish? Animal Quartet Around the World. There's 187 names for this? Oh my word. Famous authors, famous generals of the Civil War, famous women, flags of the Civil War, games of Dixieland, the Holy Land, Inside the White House. Wow. All right, so it's collecting groups of 4. Let's move on. All right. Crocodile Dennis. Chomp. The Hobbit card game. Oh, here's Cash Flow. I want to yell about Cash Flow. Piratology, the card game. Oregon Trail, Hunt for the Food card game. Have I not given that a rating? Huh. Patience. Got none of that. Bunko Party. And Star Wars Jedi Unleashed. All right, Crocodile Dennis. There's also shark versions and stuff. This is not a game. I mean, you just press down teeth until, boom, the thing's mouth snaps on you. What I will say, though, is this is a great start player device. Just press teeth down until it snaps, and then that's the person who goes first. I like it for that. Chomp. I played an old Commodore 64 game I thought was called Chomp, where you had a little fish and you went around and tried to avoid stuff. From Game Right. Nice art. The Hobbit card game. Another Martin Wallace game. Wow, people hate this one. Probably because they hired a terrible artist from Cosmos, huh? When did this come out? 2012? Wow, that's kind of new for a game to be this hated. Cash Flow. So we talked about this earlier because I was trying to remember the name of this. It's a serious game designed by investor, businessman, and self-help author Robert Kiyosaki, who scammed people to pay huge amounts of money for an educational game, which you could literally have learned from many other. This still irritates me that people fell for this. A computer simulation. Anyway, don't get me started. All right. Piratology, the game. Has some cool looking pieces. When did this game come out? This game looks old. 2007. Wow, it looks older than that. The Oregon Trail Hunt for Food card game. Maybe this is not one I've played. No, I played the Oregon Trail card game. I haven't even thought about looking at these. Fans also like the Oregon Trail card game. LCR, Quelf, watch your mouth. So I haven't played this one, but the Oregon Trails by nature, the games, any game based on Oregon Trail at this point, I just assume is bad. Patience. So this looks like a family of solitaire games. I've not played any of these. That is a cool looking deck of cards. What? That is not what I clicked on. 150 ways to play solitaire. Sounds like a song. Are these just famous queens? Bunko Party. So Bunko is scoring 21, right? I've never played. I haven't played Bunko. Just roll dice and try to get 21. Star Wars Jedi Unleashed is a pretty terrible game, which I thought would be good. But then I open it up and look at this. You move around the board. You're fighting in the arena. It's based on episode 2. And it's just, this is mass market cash grab trash. Alrighty, Triominoes, which you can see I gave, if you remember, I gave Dominoes a 1.5. So I like Triominoes slightly better. ThinkBot, I give it a 5.5. Battle of the Sexes card game. Yeah, we'll skip that. Lord of the Rings, Return of the King. That's really low. We must look at that. You can see these IP games, Survivor, Simpsons, 24 DVD board game, don't do too well. This game's just called Fantasy. Pass the Pigs. It's not as bad as, maybe it is. Kriegspiel, war game, and Manga. Folks, they're only getting worse as we go down farther. So try Dominoes is, well, it's like Dominoes, except there's 3 sides to them. I still don't like it. When I was a kid, I wanted to play this more often than not because I thought it seemed cooler than regular Dominoes. Oh, no. They're not. Someone said that all the Star Wars games are terrible. No. There's Star Wars Queen's Gambit, which is a good game. Star Wars Risk, which is fine. The Star Wars CCG was not bad. It got a little sprawling after a while. The new Star Wars dice game for Fantasy Flight is good. Star Wars Outer Rim is good. There's a lot of Star Wars Rebellion, Star Wars Imperial Assault. X-Wing's a good game. Armada. The Star Wars does not make for bad games. It's just the ones we're seeing here are bad. ThinkBot, yeah, a Rorschach test, and there you go. Ooh, what do you see there? Lord of the Rings, Return of the King. This is from Rose Art. Wow, that looks pretty bad. It looks like someone tried to make a game amazing who has not played many games. That's exactly what this looks like. Yeah, we're going to, okay. Fantasy. This game's just called Fantasy. Try to collect the most fairy folk. So past the pigs, you're literally rolling pigs and then scoring points, and you can stop. Now, I know that I gave a dice game like this more problematic, but I just like this game for whatever reason. It's stupid. Don't get me wrong, it's not a great game, but there's just something about rolling the pigs. And there's a giant version at many conventions, and I just find that to be fun to play. But it's, yeah. Whoa, wait, I'm over here. I just jumped out. There we go, Kriegspiel. A simplified hex encounter treatment of hypothetical modern strategic conflict. If I'm understanding correctly, this is one of the first war games that existed. That goes into modern. Famous for the traveling Blitzkrieg sold as the final item at the Gen Con auction every year. Huh. Well, that's kind of cool. Manga. So this here is from Uberplay. Cosmos picked it up. You can see it there. I don't think I ever played Manga. It was based on, well, manga. I think Manga was the first time when this came out. What year was this? I remember saying, what is manga? And someone was explaining it to me. My kids would be like horrified that I admitted that. Alrighty. I see some other people like Pass the Pigs in the comments. All right, we're not done yet, folks. Here comes some bad ones. The logo board game, Warriors. Warriors, well, we'll talk about that in a second. There's a Pac-Man game. The Haunting House. Yahtzee. Yeah. Are You the Traitor? Hit the Deck. Card swapping plus wedding rings equals finger fractures plus divorce. What? That's a terrible combination. Super Deck. Oh my. I got to give Super Deck a rating here. 4. Speak Out. Speak Out. The Club. I've not actually played The Club. Cheater. Didn't we already take a look at Cheater? Oh, maybe not. Tom Clancy's Politica. The Fallen City of Charades. I know why that one's where it's at. But Here's the old Battlestar Galactica game. Hero Quest 25th Anniversary Edition. Oh yeah, I know why that one's there too. This is super interesting. As you notice, as we get down farther, I've played more of these games. All right, the logo board game. How much do you know about the logos that you love and hate? What fruity flavor is Robinson's Silver Shred Marmalade? I have no idea what you're talking about. What are the colors of the lid of a jar of Golden Shred Marmalade? What is Golden Shred Marmalade? What brand of rice pudding uses picture B in its name? Okay, I apparently don't know any of this nonsense. All right. Warriors. Warriors is a combination game. In a sense, it is designed by Alan Moon from Ticket to Ride fame and Richard Borg from Memoir 44 fame. Both well-known, likable, fantastic designers, and together their powers created one of the worst games I've ever played. This game is supposed to be a version of Risk, the card game, essentially, which is not a bad idea. Knizia did it well, and this one is just awful. I really raked this one over to Cole. I did not like this. There's also an expansion for it. I think it's called Dragons, which makes it, I think, maybe even worse. Not a good game. Pac-Man. Well, this one's, just going to be a silly little game about moving Pac-Man around and picking up the balls, but there's just something about this that makes you want to play it. All right, The Haunting House. Oh, this game is horrible. This is a Robo-Rally style game, but one of your cards is picked randomly every turn. Are you kidding me? So let's take aside the bad production, everything, but you move, but one of your cards is random. So what the rest of you does doesn't matter. And then the house moves around and stuff. If you want an exercise in frustration, if your life is going smooth and you feel like I need some stress, this game will give it to you. Some people love zombies, some people hate zombies, but The Haunting House should be just hated by all. This, I think, is one of the biggest travesties of the industry. The fact that Yahtzee is rated 19761. I even gave this one a 5. I'm going to move it up to 6, and I'm actually going to give it a 6.5. And I'll tell you why. Because I played a lot of roll and rights now. And you know what? Yahtzee's not a bad roll and right. Yeah, there's luck involved. Then you're going to roll Yahtzee once every 5 games or whatever. But it's decent, especially triple Yahtzee. And I probably have given triple Yahtzee a better score. Let me actually look that up. Triple Yahtzee. What have I given triple Yahtzee? A 7. Okay. Triple Yahtzee is better than Yahtzee because you fill in 3 different lines. But it's just not bad. It definitely doesn't belong in the bottom 250 games, which is where it's at. So that's ridiculous. Are You the Traders from Looney Labs? It's a really, really simple guess who someone is. I mean, really fast game. I thought it was fine, but I found a lot of people didn't like it, especially how fast the game was. Hit the Deck. This is a slapping game. Whoever wrote this thing here, card slapping plus wedding rings equals finger fractures plus divorce. That's a bad description. Boo to whoever wrote that. I get that's funny and stuff. Just say it's a slapping game. There's no need to be snarky. Yeah, I can see why people don't like it, though. All right, Super Deck. This is one of the early card games, and you had to make, this came out right around the time all the collectible card games were out. This is a collectible card game. And then you are making a superhero deck to fight someone else, but you didn't get enough cards to make a good enough super deck, and it's terrible art. I was so excited when I saw this. I was at the store. I was buying some collectible card games for a different pack of cards, and I was like, wow, you can make your own superhero? That's the greatest thing I've ever heard. And then I played it, and I was like, it's got to be good, and I kept playing it, and it's awful, and it's bad. Speak Out is another one of those games where you stick the thing in your mouth and drool falls out, and this is terrible. Terrible, terrible, terrible. The Club. I've not played this one, but this is about maneuvering around in a club to get to the right spots. I just didn't like it just didn't look that interesting. Cheater. It's a rummy type game, but someone has special powers, and you were trying to spell out the word cheater. It's really, really generic. I shouldn't have bought this when I was on a road trip with my wife. Tom Clancy's Politica. It looks like someone read his books and tried to put that into a game, but also forgot that games need to be fun and look somewhat good. Fallen City of Charades. All right, we know why this one's bad, because people don't like Golden Egg games. But also, I haven't rated this one. We played this, I think, as a preview, maybe? Or I did a preview of it. I don't remember. I did an early preview of this, and the rules were a mess, and we really struggled through this one. I remember this very distinctly. And when I got the final game, I just didn't want to go farther. Yeah, you can see the rules, and then, of course, Kickstarters. There was a lot of Kickstarter problems. People were really mad, so that's another reason it's so low. Battlestar Galactica, this is based on the original series. Definitely has that look about it. Isn't that a cool ship there, though? I've always liked the Battlestar Galactica ship. Bum, bum. All right. Hero Quest 25th Anniversary Edition. Now, to be clear, this is not the Hero Quest which was just kickstarted on Hasbro Pulse. This was done without any permission. They launched this game on Kickstarter. They got kicked off Kickstarter for basically doing this without permission. They went to Indiegogo. They got kicked off Indiegogo. They then went to a Spanish, I think, site to do it, Kickstarted essentially. And it looks like they just took people's money. So there's not very positive things here. A scam. You know what, though? This is one of those times where we have to, not kindly, because kindly is a strong word, I think, but to say, buyer beware. I mean, if you back this on the, after seeing them get kicked off one site, go to another site, get kicked off that, all over the internet, people said they do not have permission. If you backed it knowing that information, then you are selfish. And you said, I don't care that the designer and the original companies don't get what is legally owed them. I want this game badly enough that I will skip all that stuff. And then you got scammed? I have a bit of schadenfreude about that. I'm sorry. I feel like you kind of deserve it. And then you get your revenge by coming in here giving it a 1, and who cares? They got everyone's money. You know, and now there are some people, obviously, who maybe didn't see the Kickstarter Indiegogo and didn't hear about all that. But that's also kind of on you, because if you saw this, I think maybe the smallest bit of research, you would have instantly saw the controversy that was going on about it. So, but if you missed that and missed that and missed that, yeah, but if you knew about it and you went in and backed it anyway, knowing full well that they stole the game from these people, and then they stole your money, what were you expecting? I actually think Board Game Geek should take this down, probably. All right, sorry. Got in a little bit of a rant there. Let's jump to Feed the Kitty, a kid's game. Go to the head of the class. Pop the Pig. One-upmanships, Mine's Bigger. Anti-Monopoly 2, and Dice-capades. Oh, let's just finish this off here. We got Pretty Pretty Princess, Mousetrap. This is not the Mousetrap I know, though. That's a very different one. Red Shirts. Oh, there's Electronic Battleship. That's not Electronic Talking Battleship. Not as good. Stay Alive. Power Lunch, Crocodile Pool Party. He. Star Wars Escape Death Star, Slamwich. Marbles, I gave that a 7, because how can you hate on Marbles? There's a Bionicle game. Are You Smarter Than the Fifth Grader? Lord of the Rings, The Search. And Rock'em Sock'em Robots. Interesting. Here we go. Feed the Kitty. This is actually not a good game, even for kids. It is literally roll dice and see what happens. I can't really recommend that. I need kids to have some sort of choice in a game. Go to the head of the class. I remember this game as a kid. We played it. It was like an educational game. The smarter you got, the farther up you moved. But it's basically just trivia for kids. Pop the Pig. That's actually a silly, fun game. It's not amazing. Oh, no, I'm sorry. This is a different one than the one I'm thinking of. Yeah, this one you're just feeding them hamburgers and then his belt pops. Never mind. This one's... Sorry, I was thinking of a different Pop the Pig game. One-upmanship's mine's bigger. I'm not going to go into too much details about this piece of trash, but I did a review on this piece of trash, and so you can go and watch how I reviewed the piece of trash. But interesting story. Last Gen Con, the 2019 Gen Con, a man walked up to me with a briefcase handcuffed to him and said, he was in a suit, and he's like, do you know who I am? I was like, no, I don't. And he said, I designed one-upmanship. Thank you. And walked away. So I don't know what that meant. I was a little nervous for a moment, but it's still a piece of trash. So, and I believe I am not the only person to think so, although it does not have that many ratings. It's a few ratings for being so low on Board Game Geek. But if you look, it's because there's 62 ones and 3 twos. This person said, for a second, I thought of trolling by giving this a 10 out of 10. But I have to respect that this game has a nearly perfect 1 rating. Who gave it a 2? This Warda? Come on, it's not that good. Who else? I want to find the other 2. This person gave it a 1.1. That rounds up to a 2, actually, on Board Game Geek. That's funny. Okay, Anti-Monopoly 2. So Anti-Monopoly was a big deal. It actually caused Hasbro to admit that Clarence Darrow, the so-called inventor of Monopoly, actually stole it. So that came out. This is the second one here. It is not a good game. You're a monopolist or a competitor. It's just confusing and messy. Dice-capades. If you want a pile of dice, that's why I can't. I mean, I give it a 5.5. I can't hate on it more than that because you get a bunch of dice in this game. Even if you hate the game, look at all these dice you get. That's cool as it is. Pretty Pretty Princess. I don't know anything about this because I am an unpretty princess. Mousetrap. Well, is this a revamped version with a toilet component? I want this. After playing it, I'll get rid of it. It's not as iconic as the original one, but this is amazing. That's hilarious. All right. Well, I did not know there was a new version of Mousetrap with a toilet. Red Shirts, I saw this. This is basically, hey, you're the red shirts on Star Trek. It's a take that style game. I don't know why it's ranked so low. Well, part of the artwork probably is not helping there. Electronic Battleship, well, we already talked about this. I don't think this should be ranked this low because Electronic Battleship's kind of cool. Stay Alive. I've played this game. Yeah, I played this game. Well, I got to give this one a rating then. This one is a 6. I don't think it's that bad. You're just pulling these levers and then trying to get there's the orange ones and the white ones, and you're pulling and trying to get the different marbles to fall through. That's a fascinating thing to me. I mean, it's not a great game by any means, but I like that concept. I played this when I was a kid. Power Lunch. Give 3 random celebrities, speculate as to what would bring them together. Obviously, this was done way before. This was done back in the 90s. There's Donald Trump back in the 90s. Ted Turner, Elizabeth Dole, Ronald Reagan, George Bush, Bill Clinton, Ross Perot, Lee Iacocca. Is it just politicians? No. Arnold Schwarzenegger, Bill Cosby. It's interesting how a lot of these people, the perception of them have changed. Yeah, I can't say anything but major arguments happening from this game. Crocodile Pool Party. This is from the Cosmos 2-player line. I said this game was horrible and terrible, and I have been agreed with. Cosmos has made some fantastic 2-player games. I still don't know what happened to this one. You're a bunch of swimmers who are crocodiles, and you turn into crocodiles, but you should just turn into a crocodile. Right? It's just garbage. I don't know why. It's so bad. It's like an abstract strategy game, which makes no sense. Star Wars Escape from the Death Star. Wonder why this one... yeah, it's just probably not a good game. This one probably suffers from people wanting the game to be better than it is. I've not played it, so I don't know. Slamwich. I don't know that Slamwich should be this low. It's a kid's game. You make a sandwich. The artwork and stuff is really fun. And there's slamming. That's not something a lot of adults will like, but for kids it works well. Also, marbles shouldn't be this low. Marbles is a cool game of skill. Speaking of which, the Dice Tower is going to be running marble races the week of Christmas. This Monday, we have the Winter Spectacular. A week after that, we'll be running marble races. Do you want to be involved in that? You can send your own marble in for fun, and we'll race it for you. Email me at tom@dicetower.com if you want to be involved in the marble racing. Bionicle Adventure Game. I guess this is the lowest Lego game. It doesn't really use Legos, though. It uses Bionicles. I never really liked the Bionicles. Are you smarter than a 5th grader? I am indeed. I played this game. It's awful. Lord of the Rings: The Search. So how would you think Lord of the Rings would go if the hobbits fought against each other and both ran all over Middle-earth trying to look for the ring? Does that sound thematic? Because it's not. Also, the game's trash. Whew. Finally, Rock'em Sock'em Robots. Is this a Superman version? Does Superman's head come off? At our local Dave and Buster's, well, last time I was there anyway, there's a giant version of Rock'em Sock'em Robots, and every time I go up to someone else is playing it, or it's broken, it's just annoying, but I want to play it. This is not a good game for sure, but it is iconic. Crunch, what a terrific right hook. Bzz, there goes my head again. Raving bonkers. Alrighty, folks. Well, that's it for today. I'm a little tired. I've done a lot of talking today, but we're done. Now, we're not done with this list yet. I believe there's 119 more games to go. I know most of the ones that are left. As you noticed, even in today, we only did 200, and we talked about it for 77 minutes. It's going to get worse. Not worse, but I mean, it's going to be more talking. So I'll be back tomorrow, 10 a.m. Come by and say hi to me there. That's it. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you to everybody who enjoys our show. I know that this particular series is not everyone's cup of tea, but don't worry, because we are going to flip a switch next week, and we're going to be talking about the best games of 2020. Not only that, over the weekend, we're going to be posting a Four Squares review of Dwellings of Eldervale and a Four Squares review of the new expansion for Twilight Imperium. So positivity is on its way. I hope you're having a great day, and if you're not, take some time. Rest, relax, reach out to people. It's going to get better. I'm Tom Vasel. We'll see you next time.